See him a beast when you hear that sound like yeah, beat on the beat when you hear that sound like woo. Yeah, bitch and the champ only need one round like yeah, me, I'm a G-Ring, he in the sound like.
What's up, fight fans? My name is Anik Subramanian. I'm a bare knuckle writer for the Scrap News. On Friday, October 20th, coming up right now, Keith, the Rockstar Richardson, will be fighting Reggie Barnett for his Bantamweight title at BKFC 52 in South Carolina. Today, I'm here with South Carolina's own, the man who's going to blow the roof off the place next Friday, Keith Richardson. First of all, how are you? How's training camp been?
Going good. Training camp's been great. I've got, I'm working with a bunch of killers. Get ready to get that strap.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of the strap, how do you view this matchup with Reggie Barnett Jr.?
It should be a tough one. Reggie's been in the organization since the beginning. He's a quality fighter. That's why I called him out. I only call out people I respect as fighters. I got into this sport to challenge myself. So I'm excited about it, but I'm looking to come out victorious.
Now, do you believe he's your toughest opponent at hand in BKFC? And what's the biggest danger do you think he poses?
I don't know. It's like we'll see. I think the Scoggins fight might have been a tougher matchup for me stylistically. Just because Scoggins had really good footwork. Switches just as much as I do. So a lot of the things that we did canceled each other out. So we just had to bite down on the mouthpieces and beat the crap out of each other. With Reggie, he's got a really good. He's got the ability to try to not get hit a lot. He's got kind of a point style fighting style usually. And he's even though he's short, he's got pretty decently long arms and fights from the southpaw stance. But generally, I do pretty good with southpaws.
Noted. Hey, you might bring the dog out in him with your aggressive style. Now, you've been extremely active this year. This is your fourth fight in 10 months. Did you plan on turning around so soon after your August fight, or did you take it because this is a title fight?
No, I planned on I always plan on being super active. I don't like long breaks. I'm always training, so I should always be fighting as long as I'm healthy. I don't like we have a very limited career athletically, so I want to take full advantage of that when I can. Throw down as much as I can.
I mean, you clearly have, especially in BKFC. Coming into BKFC, you did have a very successful MMA career with wins over Damone Blackshear and Hunter Azure, I believe. Now, how do you feel your style fits better in the squared circle as opposed to MMA? Because you are 3-0 this year.
I think it just shows how well-rounded my game actually is. Because my whole MMA career, everybody was always worried about me as a submission fighter.
Right.
Yeah, I had great wrestling and submissions. Now I really get to highlight how good my striking actually is. So it's fun. I love punching people in the face, so I get to do that even more.
That's very true. Another person who was really good on the ground in MMA, Chad Mendez, he showed that he had the most underrated hands. He's put on a couple bangers, even though I know he did retire in BKFC. It's been really interesting to see. Now, one thing you've done really special within this last year is not only is this your fourth fight this year, this is your third fight within your home state of South Carolina. How many people do you plan on bringing out to your title fight? And can't wait to see the army behind you.
I always plan on bringing out a good crew whenever I get to fight close to home. Tough to beat on my home soil, especially when I got that crowd behind me.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Now, there's a lot of rivalries within your state. My aunt, she went to Clemson. My uncle went to South Carolina. Which one do you support?
I've ooh. See, now you're gonna get me in trouble because I'm fighting in the Gamecocks arena. But
Yeah, good point.
yeah, I'm a Clemson dude. My bet like, I was in I got real big into college football. When I was I had my best me and my best friend were roommates. Like he was like he played for Clemson a little bit, so you got to support your boys. So yeah, now I'm a fully licensed Clemson fan.
Noted. I'm sure the Gamecocks fan will let that slide because you are the hometown hero still. So we're going to let that slide for next Friday. Now, speaking of another man from the Carolinas, North Carolina's own Doug Coltrane will be challenging for the middleweight title at BKFC 53 next month. Do you have any relationship with him, and will you be rooting for your neighboring state up north?
Absolutely. Like I live right on the border of North and South Carolina. Yeah, like me and him, like we'll talk at the fights and stuff like that. Always, always great to see Carolina Warriors doing good. I think Carolina fighters are really starting to get the respect that they deserve. You got guys like Wonder Boy, my boy Brian Battle that I help coach. Like Carolina Warriors are starting to get what they're due.
You're very right about that. They had an amazing UFC Charlotte crowd a couple months ago. Wonder Boy has been around for a long time. He's got a huge fight at UFC 296. Do you think he can pull off the upset against the undefeated Shavkat Rakhmonov?
I think so. He's one of those guys that you can never count out of a fight. He's one of those guys like me that kind of have that fountain of youth effect going on. Even if you look in his last couple of fights, he looks as sharp as he ever has. He's one of the nicest guys on the planet, so you can't help but want to root for him and want to see him do well.
I totally agree. I've been a fan of him for a long time. Now, I know on Instagram you're a very outspoken teammate. You love your team behind you at Modern Warrior MMA. Who's been your main training partners for this fight, and what do they mean to you?
I'm blessed with like the guys that I have at my gym, and we have such a good atmosphere that it draws other people in. So this camp, I've had like plenty of I think I've had like half this card like come through the gym to get some work. Tony Soto's been coming down routinely. Jeremy Holloway, Michael L. Trevor Loken comes in all the time. I had John Barnard. Brian Battle's down there all the time. I get a lot of work with Taylor. Then I got bunch of my great a lot of my great homegrown fighters like TD, Isaac, Pedro. I've just got such a great group of guys around me that hard rounds are not hard to find. Then I had some pro boxers coming in too, so I could just hard rounds were not hard for me to find this camp. We got such a great atmosphere over there that we get a little bit of everybody coming through the doors. Sunday open mat, just a who's who of people to punch in the face.
I love that, man. I saw a lot of good things you said about your team at on Bree's podcast a couple months ago. She's awesome, big name in the MMA community. Along with that, speaking, I see your Dragon Ball Z shirt. Dave Feldman told me that BKFC is close to launching a video game. Are you excited to play as yourself, and do you like playing video games?
That would be awesome. I wish I was more of a gamer, but I got my PS5 and I break it out. It's just I wish I wish I wasn't so tired at the end of the day. And like usually I'd rather watch anime than play a game because that like requires me actually doing stuff when I'm trying to decompress. So I like, but plus whenever I do get on something, like I get like totally immersed like for like a week solid where I don't eat or sleep. So like I'm very selective of when I start like playing games. Plus like those you got those like 10-year-old kids that will just murk you and everything and just talk shit to you. So it's so I get a little frustrated, especially like Call of Duty or something like that. Because like I'm like you little sons of bitches, I did this shit for real. Like, like so I try to keep my rage levels down by but no, I enjoy playing games. But I wouldn't say I'm like a great gamer by any means. But if I get to play myself in a video game, yeah, you'll see me playing with myself a lot.
Well, like you said, you do it best in real life, and that's something I'm really looking forward to. Couple more questions from me, and then I'll let you go. I really appreciate you speaking with me a week before your fight because I know you got to cut weight. You got a big fight on your hands. Now, personally, I know I saw the story about your dad recently. What would it mean to fight hard and honor him by winning that title next Friday?
It'd be like it'd mean everything to me. It'd mean the world to me. My dad was he took me to all my hockey games growing up. He was at almost every wrestling match. I remember when I won my first won the state championship. Like, I remember just running out into the crowd and like, hugging him. Like, he's been at almost all my fights. He's like he's the reason why I am who I am. He's always shown me what hard work and dedication is all about. I remember one of the like after I won the state champ, I remember that like a real good story that like kind of it's always kept me humble is like after I won the state championship we were wrestling the team and like I think they bumped their guy at 25 up because he had a better chance against our 130 guy, and we had like the local newspaper was there and like they were doing like a little story on me or something like that, and so they just like kind of fed me a either like their second string guy or like a JV guy, and like so like we're on the mat, like I was just kind of toying with the guy, like I kind of like dragged him in front of the camera to freaking pin him and stuff like that. And like, I'd start like, because I won the state championship, I started getting like, big head on my shoulder, I guess a little bit. Like, after the team broke down, I went into the locker room. My dad didn't even wait for me to come out of the locker room. He went into the locker room and he's like, I don't know who you think you are, but he's like, if I ever see my son like act like that out on the mat, and like he's like, I won't come to watch you. He's like, I'm not gonna come see my boy act like that. Like when he wasn't even yelling at me. He was like one of those more like he wasn't mad, he was just disappointed.
Yeah.
Like and which hurts way more. Like, and then never again. Like, I always try to treat my opponents with the amount of respect that they deserve. Like, anybody that like same way like wrestling, anybody that steps out there deserves your respect. So like, it's been one of those things that just always like that story's always stuck with me. So I'd love to do that because I know, one of the last things that he told me before he passed was, how proud he was of me.
Hey, that's beautiful. That's a really emotional story, and it's shown because you're one of the good guys in the sport. You've always been respectful of your opponents, so I really appreciate you sharing that with me. I think it'd be really special next Friday, no matter what happens, because the way you fight. Lastly, you have a lot of supporters. Do you have any messages for the fans of the Rockstar ahead of your big fight next Friday?
My message always, not to sound redundant, but my message is always the same to them. Like, thank you for all the support. Like, I can never do, like, nobody ever does this sport alone. Like, we might get in the cage or ring and fight alone, but there is a whole support system that, like, allows us to be successful. Your team that you trained with, sponsors, fans, like, just there's a lot of support and drive that comes from a lot of sources that don't get highlighted as much, but like nobody does the sport alone. Freaking, you got to have a good support system to be successful, because it is fucking rough and brutal. So you got to have good people around you. So thank you for all the great people that I have around me, which is why I've been able to be as successful as I have.
Well, Keith, it was an honor talking to you. I really appreciate you taking the time. Looking forward to seeing you fight next Friday, and best of luck.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it. And have a good day, man.
Thank you, man. You too.